It can be a dark place in someone's mind where doubts start to come in and people start to think about the things that could possibly go wrong, all the worst case scenario. And that can create chaos. Sometimes you will have almost like those demons, and they come in and they'll get you when you're least expecting it. And they'll start to whisper in your ear, tell you, maybe it's not possible. Maybe you can't do this. And worse still, maybe you're not worthy to be the champion.
Weather, patchy light rain or drizzle, mainly in the north of the region. Visibility, moderate or poor in rain or drizzle, otherwise moderate to good. Forecast for coast from Malin Head to Carnstow Point to Sline Head and to the Irish Sea.
When we walked into our force, myself and my brother Michael, he helped me with it. We had a concrete box with nothing in it, so we painted it. And when I opened the gym force, I think we had a ring that we made ourselves from bits of wood, and we built 4 or 5 bags. Now I've got a camp of real good fighters. At the moment I've got Spike, he's got a WBO international title, he's got a number 4 world ranking.
I want to become world champion. I've always dreamt of becoming a world champion since I was a kid, but now I have a bigger motive, so I can provide a good life for my children. Steve Collins will be a big favourite of mine. You know, I haven't grown up in a kind of similar area in Dublin that I did in Cork. You know, going on to become the world champion, I have great respect for anybody that could do that, and because I'm starting to learn all about that now myself, and the dedication it takes to train 12 rounds and to train to get there, you know, is the hardest part.
He's going to the UK on the 20th of July to defend his title. We're going to Billy Joe Saunders' backyard. We're going to fight on a card promoted by his manager. He's the big name coming through boxing, but I wouldn't be going to lose. They think we are, but I wouldn't be going to lose, and I actually believe Spike's going to knock this guy out. I believe he's going to destroy him.
Madness is going into an event, not being prepared. Going in, not knowing what the route is going to be like, not knowing what the terrain is going to be like. Going into a ring, not knowing your opponent, not knowing what you have to bring into the ring. Genius is knowing that you don't know everything, but you'll plan it as much as possible and you'll prepare as much as possible.
I wasn't even aware that you knew what hurling was in Dublin.
Yeah, we're going to be the double All-Ireland champions this year, football and hurling.
Well, I suppose the car park is as good a place to dream as anywhere, you know. Might as well dream here as dream in bed, right?
What tends to happen with concentration is that when we're under more pressure, the more pressure we add in, the higher the scale we tend to go on it. The more our concentration starts to wander, if you like. It starts to shoot down to where we're feeling pain or where we're feeling stress. There are times when somebody comes in and sits down with me and I can look at them and think, this person is showing signs of greatness. And I think what that element is when somebody comes in and sits down and says, here's where I want to go, here are my strengths, and here are my weaknesses. These are the things that I want to work on in order to get there. And when you see that, then you realize that they're not just living in a dream world or in a bubble. They understand that there are certain things they need to improve in order to get them there. They understand that they need the best coach. They're going to look for the best trainers they can get, the best nutritionists, the best psychologists, and they build a strong team around them. And for me, I actually think that's probably one of the strongest things you can possibly do is build a team. The likes of Spike, for example, is a great example of somebody who can sit down and say, this is where I want to go, this is what I have, and this is what I need. and then we work together on that to create success.
Because I did box professional myself, and I know exactly what goes through a fighter's mind, I can understand and I can explain to Spike, you know, what it's going to be like, how it's going to be. I understand what his thoughts will be, his worries will be, because I've been there. But I can also help him realise that, you know, he can just do his best. As long as he does his best for me, and I know he will, and his best for himself, that's all we need. You know, you may win some, you may lose some, but if you go through your whole career by doing your best, you will get there. You know, I have a very close relationship with all my fighters, because I know what it's like to sit in that chair, to go through what you're going through. And I know, looking at him in the corner, I'm not worried about him. I actually want to be him, because I know this is the best feeling in your life. There's nothing like being a fighter in this prime of his condition in front of all these 20, 30,000 people, showing what you can do.
I think boxing is probably one of the toughest sports in the world, given that, you know, the bell rings and you're in pain and you must go back and sit in the corner, and then you've got a short amount of time to get yourself ready. Your coach is telling you what you need to do, and you got to go out and know that you're going to face pain again for the next 3 minutes. And this could happen for 12 rounds, one after another. That's what makes boxing unique, and it makes boxing very tough. A mentally tough boxer is the guy who focuses only on what he has to do during that round.
Okay. And the only reason I'm giving it to you for luck is because I have 100 quid on you. Best of luck.
Money in the bank, Dave, money in the bank. He said this is good luck Jeremy gave it to me. He said he's had a lot of luck through the years, but it's you know, fair play to him. And do you know what? That's what I need though. Good shorter neck, you know, with duck punches. I've always dreamt to become the world champion, and it's still a goal, my goal, you know. And but at times when I'm training now, you know, I feel like I can't go on. I always just think to myself, I'm doing it for my kids. And that enables me to continue on at times when I really feel like quitting and feel like I can't go on no more. That's what I always come back to, and I always focus. I think of my 3 daughters, and I'm doing it for their, you know, for their benefit, for their life, you know, to make them proud, and, you know, so I can have a good life for them in the future, and, you know, be it financially support them and get them what they need and what they want. So when I'm training hard, you know, that's what I think of. But every day I feel like not doing it. It's just too tough, you know.
You gotta really dig deep now, Spike. 20 seconds. Keep it going, Spike. We're almost there. Pick it up at 10, Spike. Come on.
I think I can beat anybody. I think I have the ability to beat anybody. I believe I have the ability to beat anybody. So I stopped thinking about losing. I just think I focus on winning, and I visualize winning, and, you know, winning the fight. And I think about my opponent, and I know I can beat him.
The best way that somebody can get into your head and affect your head is by getting you to imagine worst case scenarios. They're not physically doing anything. They're just creating images in your head of worst case scenarios. So in effect, who's really causing the damage? So the biggest enemy you can actually have going into a ring or going into any challenge is yourself. So you have to be mentally strong. You need to remember what it is you're supposed to do. That's your job. You break it down into the simplest format possible. What is it that I need to do? And by doing that, you blank everything else out.
Complex down there about us being the capital.
A real capital.
Tell them what the best thing about Cork is. The road to Dublin, isn't it? You know, they're not like, it's their choice. You're the guest. That's what we say to people. You're the guest. Wait around. You'll see them in a few minutes. You know, they're not here like a circus on show. Yeah. This is their environment. This is their habitat. This is their home. And, you know, they belong here. So, you know, respect them. But yeah, I mean, as you say, you're talking about psychology and power. I mean, they're the masters of it. And they're so hard to read, like, you know, because they have to be so calculated in what they're doing. They can't show expression because it's a signal. It's that's why most of the time when they're They're very quick reaction. They will actually lull you into a false sense of security, and then boom, hit at the right time. And it's, in many ways, it is like that attitude. It's like boxing, you know. And then they'll draw you into a situation that the consequence is going to benefit them and not you. Like they'll get you in close and they'll bring you in, and then all of a sudden, boom. As I say, they only have to be lucky once. You have to be lucky every day, and that's the thing with carnivores, particularly meat-eating animals. And I mean, look at his, you know, he's so relaxed, but the power is at just a different level. You know, it's a different. I'll try to get him up here. I'll give you an idea now how big he is when he stands up. There you go, huh? There's a good idea of what you're dealing with. Huh? Some power. You couldn't help but respect him, could you? Yeah.
All the time, I fantasise about it all the time, and I dream about it happening all the time, and I do believe it's going to happen. I really do believe I will be champion of the world one day. You know, even if it does take a loss on the way. Steve Collins has been beaten 3 times on the way to becoming world champion. I look at Mickey Ward, guys like this. You know, one day I believe it's my destiny. I will be champion of the world. I don't want to lose in getting there, but if I do, so be it.
Spike's out there wants to make a better life for himself and his kids, so he's a hungry fighter. Now he's fought his way to be ranked number 4 in the world. This fight is a world title eliminator, so he knows that by beating this guy, he will get a world title fight. The world title fight will change his life. We're not going, and we wouldn't go to fight for world title to lose either. So there's that chance to go and become a world champion. You're set up for life. But you know, boxing's a funny sport. We're going to the UK to fight a guy who a lot of money is being pumped into. He's going to be well protected. They're going to have the right referees there. They're going to have the right judges. We know going over there that we need to knock him out to get a win. We know it. But it's a chance we've got to take. But the biggest fear is going over there. The fight goes a distance. We won't get the decision. We know it.
I don't believe for a minute he's going to beat me. I believe I'm going to knock him out. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about him beating me or anything like that, or what he's going to do to me. I'm not too worried. I'm confident in my ability that I can stop anything he's going to do, and I'm going to take advantage of his weak points, and I'm going to knock him out, and I'm going to win.
Well, it's July 20th. It's Billy Joe Saunders, Commonwealth champion. He's undefeated. He's a Beijing Olympic bronze medalist, middleweight. He's the local fighter. You know, we're basically going into the Lions Den, and the winner fights for a world title then. The champion is a kid called Peter Quinlan, New York-based fighter, New York fighter based in LA. He's a WBO middleweight champion, and how's your knuckle? And that's who we're looking for, is Peter Quinlan. After we beat Billy Joe Saunders. So Spike's ranked number 5 in the world with the WBO.
Number 4, sorry, Pascal.
Sorry, number 4 in the world WBO. But Billy Joe Saunders turnover is ranked number 14 close with the WBC. We have got a plan for this fight, and I believe the plan is going to work because I've studied a lot of Billy Joe, and I believe he's got a lot of faults, and we're going to try work on his faults. Now close your knuckle. come, feel good? Yeah. Come July 20th, he's going to be still WBO champion, and we're going to be setting up a world title fight for him. Come over.
I have complete faith in myself as a fighter and my ability, but I always bring photographs of my daughters with me, always, every time to the fight. I have them in my gear bag. I get the tape them up on the wall. They're the last thing I look at before I go to the ring. And I take a deep breath and I mentally tell them it's for them before I walk out to the ring. And I feel invincible. When I do that, I know I'm doing it for my daughters, and it gives me the belief that no man will beat me.
It's gone. Forget about it. Okay, just hold that there, Spike. All we can do now is look, go home, have a little break, rest yourself, get back to the gym, get you out on the 24th September. Yeah. Get you a win, get you paid, get you out again in October, November. And we get your title back. He's going to vacate that. Do you understand? He's going to vacate it. They're getting the ranking. He's going to vacate it. He's still going to stay in the top 10 of the World WBO. So you'll probably get the world title fight before him. But I believe in time and his experience, that's what he's trying to beat a lot of fighters out there.
Very premature to ask, what's your ideal plan for Baird?
Well, it was a learning fight. I learned a lot of fight.
You know, he did win the fight fair and square. I have no complaints, you know. But he won the fight on points, and the fight was a frustrating fight for me. He landed a good shot in the second round, busted my eardrum. You know, it didn't help me at all. My game plan was to knock him out. That didn't assist me in any way. Having the busted eardrum, you know, my balance wasn't 100%. I feel like I've learned a few lessons from it. You know, I feel more determined to come back than ever. I still feel hurt by the defeat though. I still don't, you know, I'm still annoyed that I lost. I always thought that I was mentally invincible, which I learned I'm not. And it's something I'm going to have to work on more with my psychologist, because when I was walking down to the ring, there was a monitor on the table right by the ring, and there was big screens up and that, and it said which I had 6 first round KOs, first round knockouts, like my credit, and I seen on the monitor on the screen O'Sullivan for first round knockout, 125-1 odds. I was like, what? They really don't expect me to win here. You know, what's kind of going on here, you know? And it did throw me. I'm desperate to get back in there as soon as possible, you know, and busting to have a fight and, you know, get back to winning ways. I'm really eager to get in there, you know. It's been frustrating. I'm disappointed actually that I haven't got a fight. You know, I'm just disappointed that the promoter hasn't rang me up and give me a fight sooner, you know. You know, I find it very tough actually. I want to get, you know, over the loss and get back into the ring and get another win under my belt as soon as possible, you know. If I was to fight another fighter like maybe Chris Eubank Jr. or Matthew Macklin, one of these guys, their style might suit me better. You know, one of those could beat Billy Joe, but I mightn't. You know, and then I could beat one of them. You know, that's the way boxing is. I hate losing too much to be a journeyman. You know, journeymen get in there to get their paycheck and they move around. You know, they take a bit of a beating. Those guys, they learn to protect themselves very well, and you know, they're in there for the money and the paycheck. I'm not in there for that. You know, I'm in there to become the champion of the world.
Never going to quit. I get a shot at the world title.
My ultimate dream has always been to either fight for and win or defend the world title in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, just down the road from my house, and walk home where I used to hang out as a teenager on the old railway line which links my house to Páirc Uí Chaoimh where Steve B. Eubank I want to get the belt and be champion of the world. Walk with all my friends, all the lads I used to hang around with. Walk down that line with the championship of the world over my shoulder. I don't want to lose again, and I've never actually before wanted to win so much. You know, I hated losing. I don't want to experience it again. I can't wait to climb back into that ring and climb back up the rankings. Just can't wait. My goal is to be remembered as a great fighter, to become the champion of the world. You know, to bring pride to my country, bring pride to my county, my family, my kids. You know, that's still my goal, to become the champion of the world, yeah. And you know, to be up there with Steve Collins, you know, Bernard Dunns, the Haglers, the Durans, you know, Sugar Ray Leonards, and that's still my ambition, and it's definitely one I believe I can achieve. You're lucky Roy Keane isn't here. You'd be a bleeding mill there of it. Who was that one? Oh. That's the second time that rang there, is it?
That's what it invested in.